All right. So this is video 3. This is a real world, real Laura Johnson life lesson of what our short-term rental kind of taught us about money, money management and life management is essentially what this is going to be about. And I would say it very innocently had a clear purpose. And that purpose was to be blown away by a property. We had a 25-acre property, and it already had a tiny house on it. Potential income. I mean, that's the thing. You start hearing about all these strategies and examples of what people are doing right now. It's very inspiring. Borderline inspiring just to take action right away. And that was not my case. I had probably listened to people house hacking. And I don't know if you know what that is, but essentially you have your primary residence and you rent out a room or a basement or something on your property. And it helps over time offset some of the mortgage payment each month, hence house hacking, right? So that was the goal. Because to me, this seemed like a very feasible, doable thing. We are going to get approved for this loan. Yes, it'll be a higher mortgage, but it has this income property, little income property on it, and we can make this work. I am a born, I don't know why, but I probably was born to be a host, a short-term rental host. And we would rent out, the plan was to rent out the tiny house, and it's on a pond. It's beautiful. Everything about this property is beautiful. It's bigger than we are used to, which comes with a lot more expense than we are used to. But again, the ideal situation was that, oh, well, we'll have this income coming in and we're actually hacking the system because the joke is on everybody else because now we have this mortgage payment, but guess what? We have money coming in to offset it. So that was really at the heart of it, what it was. We now get to enjoy this amazing property and at the same time learn. I mean, that was another part of it. It was we can say, oh, we have a short-term rental. As an aspiring investor, I was very proud to be able to say that. I was proud to be able to say we took the leap and we're doing it and we are learning it and we're in the mud and the thick of it and it's hard and it's grueling and we are coming out on the other side. And guess what? The goal is, this is paying for our mortgage. Instead of us living in a smaller house in a neighborhood somewhere, we have all this acreage and we have all this wonderful stuff and we're barely paying any money. Like that was the ideal, right? Situation in my brain in this thing. So ultimately we did it for 2 years and we fixed up the tiny house, made the property look really great. It's very secluded for the guests, like truly a slam dunk in all of that area. Customer experience is like one of my huge pet peeves, something I'm very passionate about. And I have a lot of just customer service background and all that kind of thing. So it came very natural. What started to creep up though was how I was reacting to us living on the property. Our house is not that far away from the tiny house rental that we were renting out. It is definitely secluded. It feels secluded. Guests would never know that we really were not that far away because we have a lot of tree coverage in that area. But my kids, at the time we moved here, they were fourth and fifth grade. And that's young. You should want your kids to go play outside. You should want them to go make noise outside. But in my brain, I'm just thinking, how can the guy let them do that? I know it sounds harsh. I know it's awful. It's awful. Believe me. This is the realization. This is the truth of the matter is I started getting stressed about what noise we were making because we were so close by. I don't want someone driving in here, have a wonderful little quiet vacation. They book a secluded tiny house on a private pond. I gave them the full access to the pond with kayaks. Also, I'm telling you, it's really nice. Really, really nice. And then all of a sudden you're going to start hearing basketball just bouncing all the time. Like, do you want to hear that when you go on vacation? I don't. And so it just became very hyper focused, right? So that was one of the things. Became a lot to juggle. And because I'm kind of a crazy person when it comes to the experience of the whole thing, like my husband is very much like, okay, you have your expenses, you have your liabilities and your debits and your whatever, all the stuff. Okay. I'm not that way. I'm just like, I want that trash can. I want my medicine cabinet to be full of all these special toiletries. I have a vision for what the fire pit is going to look like. I have everything had a vision, which meant the price goes up, the expenses go up. So at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, it just wasn't bringing in a ton of money for how much I was working it. And other things is, as you evolve and start learning some other strategies, we figured out a way to have a whole nother additional income stream come in. And that started making it where, okay, this isn't making sense anymore. If we're spending our time over here on the tiny house where things are always breaking, because they will always break, and you will always have a mini split system. I'm just going to tell you right now, as a primary AC unit for a tiny house is no. I'm just going to tell you right there. And this is not about tips for short-term rentals, but it really is. It just, things break. And guess what? Things are still happening with my kids, right? They're still going to a new school. They're still having all these things. And it's just life. Essentially, life is going on. And when you're on the property with guests, it was a lot more impactful to our family than I ever anticipated it being. So when you start looking at, okay, well, we can make money doing this over here, and it can add up a lot faster. Well, it doesn't really make sense for our time to be spent at the tiny house anymore. So it evolved. And finally, at one point, it was very much like a clean cut situation. I just knew, okay, this is the last guest. And it wasn't a big dramatic thing. It just felt right. It's like, okay, we're not going to have that anymore. So I guess you can kind of say it was a failed experiment in a way. I like to say a learning opportunity, because I really do think that we will be better for it. I know we are better for it. 2 years of a short-term rental experience was a lot, and we learned a lot. So we can take that with us going forward. And I think at the end of the day, the whole point of me telling you this is that you can learn new strategies, think that you're going in one direction, really nailing it. I'm doing all the right things to build up my wealth and to really get on the next track. This is going to help level me up. But sometimes unfortunately, it doesn't. Do you notice I talk with my hands a lot? It's not going up all the time. Sometimes you have to take 10 steps back, and then you're like, golly, I've been here before. And then you move a little bit more, and then you go back again, and then you go up again, and you go back again. And I'm just kind of finding out I think this is actually more normal. I think people who are trying to be more intentional about building their family wealth, I think this is a lot more normal. And with every failure, every mistake, just learn from it and move on. And that's kind of what I wanted to wrap up with this is when you are starting your journey of, I guess, advancing, leveling up your financial knowledge, exploring savvy strategies, because they are out there. But guess what? Sometimes they're not for everybody. And maybe they're for one person at this particular time because they are having this particular situation occur in this particular year. And because of some tax law or whatever that was put into effect on this date, this now actually makes sense. And then guess what? 6 months, 2 years from now, things change. We're not in that situation where gotta evolve. So it's really just, you can learn, you can start learning you want, but if you can open your mind to being flexible and understanding that there are loopholes on purpose, on purpose, and understanding what to do and how to be within those loopholes, of course, all legal. I'm not saying go do bad things. I'm not saying that. It's just, it's very interesting when you start exploring situations and seeing what wealthy individuals do with their money, how they structure it, what they're anticipating. There's, I don't know. I'm putting it together, and that's again what your money harvest is about. We're figuring it out. We're gonna figure it out together. All right. All right. Well, that is wrapping up that video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know this was short. I hope it was sweet. I plan on doing a lot more other video series with a lot more. I know this kind might have seemed a little bit generic, but I plan to do specific topics where we can really dive into some good content and some forward thinking for our families, because that's what I'm at. I am after what the future holds and how can I work backwards. And I want you to watch me do it. All right, take care.